Okay, so before the video starts, a few things. One, I'm recording this all in one shot on my phone, so there'll probably be a couple of jumps in editing, in case I make any mistakes, obviously. And there's no script, so again, there's gonna be a lot of editing thing. And two, I have a lot of clocks in my room, so if you hear ticking, try to ignore it. Uh, there's like 50 of them and 40 of them are running at once, so yeah, again, try to ignore it. But anyway, let's begin. So this is my Jackbox slash Yono Jack collection. It's mostly Yono Jack. I've had this interest since early 2024, and I've collected a lot of stuff for it. We're gonna begin with this area here, since it's mainly the mainline Yono Jack games. Specifically, we're gonna start with all these boxes here. This might be a little out of order, but I'll try to keep it in like some kind of organized fashion. But let's begin with this. So this is a mouthful. This is the Yono Jack Huge XXXL bundle box, I guess. I don't know. This series is older than me, so I don't know how. Whatever. This isn't exactly a single Yono Jack game. It's actually a collection of 3, specifically Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. Here's the back of the box. And the sides. Oh, I guess the top and the bottom. I should show that as well. If you hear that moving around, there's some stuff inside this. Actually, let me open it and show you, because that might be a bit interesting. We'll cover the games themselves in a second. Just let me show this. So here's exactly what's inside the box, aside from the game, of course. Yeah, it's just some random promotional stuff, as well as stickers. I do not plan on using these because I want to keep them the way they are. I'm pretty sure I have like another version of these stickers. Obviously there's something on the back, I don't know why I'm showing that, but yeah. These stickers are meant to be put on your keyboard, since those are the keys that you use for the buzzers for each individual player. There's definitely stuff on the back of this. There's this. This isn't really that interesting, so I'm not going to open it up, but yeah. Let me put it back in the box. It is a little funny, though, how the CDs just aren't that big, but they made a huge box for it. But I guess that's the way it was in the 90s. This is Yono Jack Sports. I'm pretty sure this is... No, it is. It definitely is. This is the second game that came out in the Yono Jack series. It's a spin-off. Obviously, as the name implies, it's sports-themed. I'm pretty sure, according to the developers at least, this one sold pretty terribly. Like, I'm pretty sure there's photos of them with just a bunch of copies of the game over 20 years later, I believe. But yeah, here's the back. Sides, oh, that's nothing. And the top. Let me open the box, because there is actually a game inside. Because for some reason, when I got this, despite being perfectly sealed, supposedly, then I guess, there is no case. They just put it in that paper CD case for some reason. And I refuse to take it out. Because, you know, I don't want to get it damaged. Yeah, I don't know. It says it was sealed, but it didn't come with a actually plastic case. At least it has the manual and the CD, I guess, but yeah. So here's what's in it. Here's what's in the box, at least. I don't know why I'm showing this. This is pretty much just the same thing as before. Uh, so for the game, let me talk about the game for a bit. So this is hosted by Guy Towers. In this video, I'm just gonna go in and assume whoever's watching this knows nothing about Jack. This was hosted by Guy Towers, who was the second host for Jack. He's only ever hosted this game and part of Jack the Ride. Yeah, apologize. My apologies for not having much to say. Because, I don't know, I like Guy, but he's not exactly my favorite. He's a bit funny, though. I like his, I like his more goofy jokes. He's very silly. He's very silly of a guy. Guy Towers. Let me talk about it a bit more while I put these back in the box. Yeah, so Jack Sports, even in the Jackbox, Jack fandom today, just isn't that popular. I bet you can guess why, because not many people in the fandom really care for sports. And also, since it's so... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. There are stickers in here. If I can just get them out. I didn't even notice that. Look at that. Stickers. Yeah, for some reason, there's just different buzzer stickers that they made. They didn't use the same ones from before. Again, same purpose as before. You put them on your keyboard for each buzzer for a player. I mean, I'm sure you don't really need to do that. You should, especially by now, in 2026, people should know what a keyboard looks like, but yeah, I guess you could put that on your computer for fun. Again, I won't, because I want to keep it the way it is. I like preserving my stuff. Okay, hold on, before we move on to this, I guess a little bit more about Guy Towers, well, at least, I guess the voice actor. I feel, at least in the fandom, I feel some of you do not appreciate Andy Pullen enough for the work he does, both in music and previously voice acting a lot. He still voices Old Man, by the way. I'm pretty sure I heard, like, a bit of Old Man in Pack 11, Jackbox Party Pack 11, so, yeah. Some people in the fandom, they'll talk about, some of the voice actors, but nobody talks about Andy Pullen. I'm like, that's disappointing. Again, Guy's not my favorite. There's also Bob, which I'll talk about later, but y'all need to talk about Andy more when it comes to appreciating some of the people who work on these games. Anyway, moving on. So this is Jack Movies. This is another spin-off. I believe it came out a bit later. I'll probably show it in editing. A YouTuber did make a video trying to figure out when each Jack game is released, because on Steam the dates are inaccurate. But yeah, this definitely came out a bit later, but I do have the box for it, so I'm just showing it first. Jack Movies is actually... Hold on. Actually, let me just show the box. Give me a moment. Yeah. And then give me some time to open it. But let me talk about the host. So, Jack Movies was actually the host debut for Cookie Masterson, who is the most iconic Jackbox character. Well, arguably, because the most people talk about him. Cookie's actually been around since... Cookie has been around since Volume 1 in 1995. But it took until Jack Movies for him to host. Cookie is actually also the fourth character to ever host for Jack. And here's also the stuff in it. Aside from the game, of course, I'll show the game a bit later. Again, same business, get $10 off or whatever. more stickers. These are also different. Let me put them back in the box. Maybe I'll talk about Cookie more when I actually... Yeah, maybe I'll just talk about the host more when I show off the games. Maybe, I don't know, there's not much to say about Cookie and Jack movies, probably because I've never played it. I think I've played almost every Jack game on some level, except for movies and sports. I don't know why I haven't. I probably should at least once. Yeah, we'll talk about Cookie a bit later, especially because, again, most iconic character, I guess. So we're gonna move on to this. This is way later. This is like early 2000s. This is Jack of the Fifth Dementia. You can ignore this. This... I tried to take this off, but it wouldn't come off. This has a rip on accident. I did not mean for it to rip. This is Jack the Fifth Dementia. If I recall correctly, it released in 2001. It was also the first online Jack game. Well, it has like the feature of being able to go online. I think that's... Hold on, showing the back here. I think that right there... Can the camera focus for a bit? I think that right there kind of shows the... Yeah, that's the online. Okay. I'm sure there's probably a YouTube video out there somewhere recording the online, but also I kind of doubt it, because I think the servers... I don't remember when the servers for this game shut down. But, yeah, pretty interesting that they made this the first, Jack, the game that was able to go online. This sticker right here, this needs some context. So, around the same time they released the Fifth Dementia, they actually also got a ABC game show made for Jack. I'm pretty sure it only has like 6 episodes, maybe 7. I think it was just 6 episodes. And the host is played by Paul Rubens, and the host's name is Troy Stevens. I've only watched the first episode of the game show, but yeah, it's pretty interesting that they that they did that, even if it was so short-lived. Oh yeah, about the sticker as well. Apparently, most copies of this game came with, like, a different sticker and some popcorn inside. Over 20-year-old popcorn, I guess, nowadays. But apparently, having this sticker on the box makes it slightly more rare, which is interesting. So I have a slightly more rare copy of the Fifth Dementia, which is neat. Let me show the inside. The game is already out of the box, so I'll show it later, but I'm sure there's stuff in here too. I'll talk about the host briefly as well, but obviously I'll talk about more when the... Oh my god. Hold on, there's something in here. Okay, there's way too many of these get some amount of money off mail things, so I'm just not going to show them anymore anytime they show up. So here's what's inside the box, again, aside from the game. What's this? I'm sorry, I haven't looked at what's inside the box in a while. Yeah, so these are basically mostly just giveaway stuff. I am not removing that. Again, I want to keep things the way they are, and besides that, whatever deal that is, it's long gone now. And this is really funny to me. This is why I had, like, a quick reaction. So, about me saying that Jack Sports sold so poorly that years later they still have, like, a bunch of copies. Yeah, get a free Jack Sports. Yeah, they definitely did this because they had way too many copies, I guess, like, stored somewhere and they needed to get rid of them. But that's really funny. Well, I'm sure it was a good deal, but it's really funny to know that now at least they almost certainly did this because they had too many unsold copies of Jack Sports. Which is unfortunate because, again, Guy Towers is pretty funny, but he's not really a fan favorite either. Unfortunate. Let me put this back in the box. Oh, I forgot to talk about the host. You know what? I'll save talking about the host for when I start showing the games themselves, which should be right now, but you'll have to wait for that. So this right here is Jack Volume 1. So I have 2 copies of Volume 1. This, no, let me show this one first because it came out earlier. This is Volume 1 with a patch. It's really funny. So they had a patch made for the first Jack game because in the original, the host Nate Shapiro has this little reaction to something. Okay, hold on. Let me get some context first. So, in Jack, there's this Easter egg where during the gibberish questions, there's this Easter egg where in the gibberish questions, you're supposed to type what you think the answer is. If you type the words fuck you instead of literally anything else, the host will have a reaction. So they had to release this version 1.01 just to remove what Nate said because he swore a lot, and I guess that would have risked turning the T for teen rating into an M rating. So they re-released the game with a patch to replace Nate's line with something more quote-unquote family-friendly, which arguably makes that whole reaction Nate has more iconic, which is really funny. Since I've already shown the disc for that, let me show the disc for the other one below. This one does not have the patch thing, but let me go into a bit more detail. Yeah, so this one came out a bit earlier. Again, it's the one with the patch. This right here is Volume 1 XL. It automatically comes with the quote-unquote question. Well, it automatically comes with the question pack. They made a question pack for Volume 1 to, add more questions. Oh, wow, I managed to accidentally balance these. Let me show the sides for a bit. But yeah, so, pretty basic thing. Just, it's Volume 1, but they added the question pack automatically. So it's Volume 1 XL. So you get all that extra content without having to buy the question pack and install it or whatever. Here's the backs. Pretty interesting that they're different as well. I'm pretty sure getting an original copy of Volume 1 without the censorship is pretty rare. I'm pretty sure there is someone who did manage to get an original copy of Volume 1 in box, which is pretty neat. Nate's probably my third favorite host. Okay, hold on. Before I put these back, actually, let me talk about Nate for a bit, because this is one of the only times he shows up. He shows up a bit later, but let me talk about Nate for a bit. So Nate Shapiro was as you could have inferred by me saying Volume 1 consistently, Nate Shapiro was the first ever host for Jack. He is voiced by Harry Gottlieb. Am I pronouncing it correctly? I feel like I've been pronouncing it correctly. Maybe. I don't know. And so, I'm pretty sure Nate was not even intended to technically, quote-unquote, exist. So, I'm pretty sure what happened, or at least my assumption, is that while developing the game, Harry did, some placeholder voice lines for the host. They were probably gonna hire someone else to do it, but I guess the people working on the game liked his performance so much that they made him the host. This is actually pretty interesting, because if you look at the credits for Volume 1, the voice actor for Nate Shapiro is never listed. This is specifically, at least from what I think I've read, this is because Harry wants to be credited for directing the game instead of just voicing the host. Which, yeah, we'll give Harry props for both founding Jackbox Games and creating the Jack series. Oh yeah, Nate. Somehow I can't really find my words with the host, despite liking them a lot. Nate's very sassy. I feel like sassy is the best way to describe Nate. I like him a lot. He's got a little attitude to him, and it's really fun. Because Volume 1 is the first Jack game, there's actually despite having a lot of questions, there's actually, I wouldn't say there's actually that much exactly Nate content. Like, sure, we'll crack a couple of jokes, but Jack Volume 1 is the only game where when a question will finish, sometimes it'll just immediately move on to the next question. Like, Nate won't even make any joke or anything. But luckily, he came back for the ride, so that's fun. He definitely has a lot more personality in that game. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's all I can talk about with Nate. Maybe I'll edit in something else if I think of more to talk about with him. So let me show some other games. Jack Volume 2. This actually came out after Jack Sports. I feel like, is it a misconception? I don't know. Some people think that this game came out after Volume 1, because Sports, I'm pretty sure Sports and, no, actually Sports also came out in 1995, if I recall. I don't remember. Again, there's one YouTuber that, made a video trying to figure out when each Jack game is released. I'll obviously show it in editing. Let me show the backs of these. Yeah, so these are pretty different. Let me actually show let me just show this by the side. So there's something interesting about these two copies of Volume 2 that I have, and it's that the disc art is different for some reason. I guess the manual is, but whatever. I'll talk about a little something a bit later. Yeah, so the discs are different. I really don't know why the discs are different, but that's interesting. I've had this one. I got this one before I got this one, because this specifically came in the Jack XXXL bundle that I talked about earlier. And this came, I bought these in like a eBay listing, but I'll talk about that a bit later. I'll just show them all together when I talk about it. Oh yeah, the host. Okay, let me talk about the host for a moment. Buzz Lipman. You either love him or you hate him. Well, most of the fandom loves him. I don't think I've ever seen someone who actively hates Buzz. I think everybody likes him. But back then, that was a different story. At least from what I've heard and looked at, people did not like Buzz. I think the main reason is because his voice is quote-unquote annoying. He has a very nasally voice. I personally don't mind it. Or I guess maybe it's the other reason could also be that people liked Nate, and then when Buzz came around, it was like, who is this? Because again, most people did not buy Jack Sports, so maybe someone bought Volume 2 thinking the host would be the same, but not Jack Sports, so they didn't know that usually when a new Jack game comes out, the host changes. At least they used to do that until later entries. But yeah, Buzz. I think his voice actor's name was Peter or something. I somehow forgot the last name of his voice actor. I'll put it in editing. Buzz is also not exactly one of my favorite. I do like Buzz, but I don't care for him as much as like some others do. I know I have a friend whose favorite host is actually Buzz. Oh yeah, Jack Volume 2 is also the only game Buzz hosts. I'll talk about Jack the Ride in a bit. But Buzz only hosts this game. I'm pretty sure it's because Peter was like the only voice actor that was not directly tied with Jellyfish, at least according to my friend. I guess what my friend told me. So I guess the way that would work is that they'd have to pay him hourly instead of I guess they'd have to pay him hourly for each thing he did, so it was really expensive. That's what I'm guessing. As you can tell, this video is recorded like I'm your friend or something talking to you on a FaceTime call. Again, I just can't seem to figure out what to say about some hosts. Okay. Maybe I'll have more words when I get to the hosts I actually do like a lot. Oh boy. Alright. Let's move on. Oh yeah, I forgot. One more thing. Just one more thing. So, Buzz. I keep losing my words. Buzz is the cousin of Nate Shapiro canonically. Canonically they're cousins, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, canonically Buzz and Nate are cousins, which is just an interesting lore tidbit. Too bad they basically never used Buzz. They mentioned Buzz maybe once or twice in current day Jackbox games, but yeah, they Buzz isn't talked about that much. I'm pretty sure in one line it's implied he's dead, but whatever. That's up to interpretation. Let's move on. Okay, maybe now I'll talk about. Have I talked about Cookie enough? I don't know. Let's see. These are the exact same, so I'm not even gonna bother. Oh, hold on. I turned the camera wrong for a second. This is Jack Volume 3. And that's my earbuds cord, I guess. So this was the first mainline game hosted by Cookie. As I said before, Cookie's debut game was Jack Movies. And this was his first time hosting a mainline game. Let me open it up. I'm not going to open the other one because, as I said, they're the exact same. I actually do like the disc art on this one. I feel like the disc art looks pretty nice. I have not played Volume 3 much because there's honestly just other Cookie games I like more. I guess I'll talk about them later. I feel like Cookie's always been this way since Jack Movies. That man's a little freak. I feel like that's especially shown in this game with the three-way question. Oh my god, some of Cookie's dialogue during the three-way, or not really during, I guess before and after the three-way questions. Oh my god. Actually, forgive me if I already said this earlier when I was talking about Cookie. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is all taken in one shot with no script, so you're just basically watching me infodump like a crazy person or something. So Cookie is voiced by Tom Gottlieb, who has the last name implies. I'm pretty sure. Why am I saying I'm pretty sure? They are, I believe. Harry and Tom are brothers, I believe. And okay, Cookie's been around since Volume 1. Cookie was the sign-in host, I guess. That's what I called him, at least. When you're in the green room, typing in your name and stuff like that. Yeah, Cookie is the one doing that for volumes. I'm pretty sure for volumes 1, 2, and sports. And of course, when Volume 3 came around, Cookie couldn't be both the sign-in host and the actual host at the same time. So I'm pretty sure that Volume 3 is the introduction of the character Raoul, who I like a lot. Me and my friends like Raoul a lot. But I'll probably talk about him later in another game. I keep saying this, I'm losing my words with the host for some reason, despite I like them a lot. Cookie's really my second favorite host, but I keep not knowing what to say. Whatever, I guess I'll save it. Maybe it's because we're talking about Volume 3 here, and I don't have much to say about Cookie in this game specifically. I guess we'll save it for later. Let's move on. Oh look, why don't you look at that? Speaking of, Jack Movies, here it is. For a quick note, if you ignore that up there, for a quick note, this is not what the case is supposed to look like. When I got Jack Movies, it was not sealed, and in the eBay listing I saw, well, I didn't buy this, my dad did as a Christmas gift, but they showed it complete in the original case, but I guess before it shipped or whatever, something happened, so they had to replace the case, and they lost it back, unfortunately. I don't know what this was originally, but hey, purple case, I guess you could say Jellyvision, because their logo is purple. Let me open it up. Yep. The disc. And the manual. I mean, I personally, as much as I wish this came, like, complete, I guess, with the back cover and everything, I'm fine with basically the essentials. The manual and the CD, that's fine. I guess I can deal with not having the back covers. Oh, now, here's one I like a lot. Jack TV. Or television, but everyone calls it Jack TV for short. This is actually, okay, first things first, this is a re-release copy. This is not, at least from what it looks like, this looks like it was a re-release copy. I'm pretty sure in the early 2000s, around when the Lost Gold came out, they re-released some of the Jack games. So I'm guessing this is from around that time. So now I kind of want a copy of Jack TV from when it originally came out. Arguably, okay, I don't know about Jack Sports, because basically nobody plays that one, but arguably, this one right here, is the most difficult Jack game. Simply because it's so old. I don't like saying Jack games are outdated, because a lot of the questions are actually, you can still play most of the Jack games completely fine. There's not that many quote-unquote outdated questions. Except for this, but not in the, the information is a straight up incorrect way. This game is so old and TV has progressed so much that now it's really outdated kind of way. Because, this came out when analog TV was still a thing, when they didn't switch analog to digital for television. So, every single person I've personally met, maybe it's because we're all just too young, especially in this fandom, but nobody in this game knows what's being talked about 90% of the time. It's way too specific. Not even specific, maybe. It's just, it's old. It's old. I don't think anyone I've met who's tried to play this game has gotten a positive score without just guessing the entire time. It's that difficult for simply how old it is. But yeah, here's the inside. I actually like the CD art a lot. I like the static. I don't know why it says must play CD, but yeah. Oh, I meant to close it, not drop the front cover a bit. Now let me talk about the host. Let me tell you about the host. Let me tell you about the host for a second here. Schmitty. This is Schmitty's first game. The Quiplash guy, the guy most people recognize for being the host of Quiplash, that's pretty much all people know him for. They don't even know that he was previously a Jack character. He's been around for a while, actually. I'm pretty sure his debut as just a character, not exactly a host, was Jack Sports as a literal background character. But yeah, this is his first game. Let me tell you, he is an entirely different person. Whatever you think he's like in Quiplash, okay, he's still like that, kinda. But in this game, his anger, why is he so rageful? I don't know. There's like a few instances. You don't even have to do the Easter egg. You don't even have to do the Easter egg where you tell the host to F off, basically, in the gibberish question for him to get mad at you for certain things. There's a couple of questions where if you just straight up get them incorrectly, he will start yelling at you. I don't know why he does that. It's not that funny. It's not that funny, but I think it is. Okay, maybe, since I'm laughing so much, you can tell Schmitty's my favorite. I have a memory of playing this game for the first time because I hadn't okay, so I played this game for the first time because I bought the UnoJack Classic Pack that Jackbox has on their website. Not sponsored, just, obviously, as you can tell, I'm just talking about this because I'm a fan or whatever. I played this because I couldn't figure out how to get the Lost Gold to work because you have to. That's a whole thing. Whatever, I'll talk about that later. And the ride, I hadn't even got past Cookie yet, I believe. I said I'm going into this assuming whoever's watching this is just knows nothing about the series, but whatever. I played this once for the first time. Maybe I was just really sensitive, but all it took was a 7-question game and a ton of bullying, and I never played UnoJack TV again for a whole month. I refused to play it for a whole month because Shmitty bullied me so hard. It was, I don't know. Where's that one image? That one image of, like, the baseball coach or referee or something yelling at the kid that's been... This is not funny. This is... Whatever. I'm spending too much time about this, but I'll move on. Let me move on. I'll talk a little bit more about Schmitty later, I guess. Oh my god. Okay. I need to stop being the giggler over here. Let's calm down a bit by talking about probably the most overstimulating game. Okay, let me calm down. This is Head Rush. When this first came out, it was not said to be a UnoJack game. It was actually supposed to be just completely its own game. As you can see from right there, it says from the makers of UnoJack. So this was not supposed to be a UnoJack game when it first came out, but it's so similar that it's just considered part of the series. And besides, on Steam, they ended up calling it a UnoJack game. Here's the back. I need to go on the Wayback Machine sometime and look at the Head Rush website, because it's pretty interesting. Yeah, this game is pretty underrated. People, like, never talk about Head Rush, which is unfortunate, because I like it a lot. It's actually pretty unique in that, hold on. Look at this. Very green. Very, very green. Okay, so Head Rush is actually pretty interesting, because it's basically UnoJack, but for a younger audience. Not little kids exactly, but I'd say, like, younger teens. I'd say, like, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. Like, this is what that's made for. This is what it's made for. So it's pretty unique. I actually like it a lot. It's very... I feel like there's a specific style, especially in the early 2000s, where, like, things just looked really gross for some reason. This game does that a lot, unfortunately. So if you don't like gross out humor, there's a lot of that with the little cutscenes in between questions. I'll probably show that in editing or something. But I said overstimulating because there's just a lot happening, especially with the in between cutscenes. The host, Bob, this is really the only time Bob has ever showed up as a character. I don't think Bob's ever returned. Maybe they've mentioned Bob at least once. But yeah, I consider Bob to be, like, basically the sixth, quote-unquote, UnoJack host. But not really, because again, when this first came out, it was not even meant to be a UnoJack game. But later on, they just considered it a spin-off, so it's technically a spin-off now, I guess. I like Bob. He actually shares the same voice actor with Guy Towers, Eddie Poland. So they sound the exact same. This was never said in canon, but because of that, a lot of people in the fan base like to headcanon that Guy and Bob are siblings. But let me talk about Bob's character. Bob's very high energy. He's pretty silly. Very, very silly guy. As I said before, silly guy, just like Guy Towers. But 10 times more the silly. And without the ball and sack jokes. losing my words again here. I like Bob. I like Bob. He's pretty neat. He's got. Now it sounds like I don't like him with how much I'm losing my words. I'm sorry. I like him. I like him. He is pretty funny. Oh my god, I forgot something. Milan and Baby Diva are both side characters in this game, and I love them so much. So Milan is like a character that mostly appears in the Trash Talking with Milan questions. I'm sorry, I paused there because I thought I was maybe mispronouncing his name. I don't know. For being a game for younger teens, something a little crazy is going on between him and Bob or something. I don't know. Why are they like this? Baby Diva, I love her. She's very. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure on the Headrush website they did have some kind of section for Baby Diva. Just like, I'm pretty sure it's like a Q&A or something. It was like all written in characters, really cute. She has this very specific way of typing and everything. I don't know. I like the Headrush cast. They're very underrated, and so is the game itself. It's really, it's just really fun. Which is disappointing because I'm pretty sure I heard that this game also sold really badly. Which sucks because it is actually, in my opinion, at least a good game. I like it. Like, yeah, sure, it doesn't have, like, the regular, Jack host, and there's no, like, adult humor, but whatever. Who cares? It's fun. I love fun. Clapping my hands like a baby, I love fun. Also, it's just really funny. There's a lot of funny jokes coming from Bob. He's a really funny character. So again, underrated. Alright. I think I'm talking a bit too much about Headrush. Let's move on again. This turned from a collection infodump into a whole series infodump. Okay. Whatever. Well, I guess that... treat for the fandom, I guess. If nobody else watches this. Oh, this is a treat. This is my favorite. My favorite. Jack Volume 4, The Ride. This is probably the most popular Jack game for good reason. This is a huge fan favorite. Oh. Yeah, there's really nothing on the back. It's just promoting other games. Oh, look at that. Headrush. Oh, yeah. It comes with You Don't Hear Jack. Let me just show all this off first before I talk about the game itself and everything, because it's a lot. So there's actually 2 CDs. I am way too young to know how, like, installing and playing things with CDs works, but I'm just gonna assume that this comes with the audio for You Don't Hear Jack and installs the game, and the second disc right here is just to play it. That's what I assume, at least. Baby, a little baby image. Baby who likes a game way older than them. Let me talk about that game for a moment. So, hold on. You interject The Ride. This one, huge fan favorite. This is my favorite. Okay, out of everything Jackbox Games has ever produced, including every single Jack game, this is my favorite. So, it's actually the first Jack game to have a whole storyline, as well as quote-unquote episodes. Well, at least they're called floors, but you can just call them episodes, basically. It has all 5 hosts. Every host, except for Bob. Every host that has ever appeared in Jack appears in this game. Except for, well, Buzz does appear, but, it's part of the plot that okay. It's part of the plot that Buzz doesn't host any episodes of this game. But, yeah, it's really interesting. It's a fun game. There's maybe 2 outdated questions in this game that I actually know are, like, somewhat outdated on some level. I I feel like the only disadvantage is that if you played this game before and you try to play it with anyone else, you're probably gonna remember some of the answers. But if you, okay, my personal recommendation, if you want to get into Yu Jack, start with this game. Don't just you can start with any game basically, but this is the one I recommend the most, especially if you plan on like continuing. Like if you get interested enough to get hooked into it, you might find out who your favorite host is. I don't know. So let me actually talk about the host lineup. So I'm pretty sure every 15 or so floors the host changes and it has like a whole little cutscene to it. So you start off with Cookie, then you move on to Guy, then Schmitty, then Nate, who has 10 floors instead for some reason, but whatever. So sorry for all the Nate fans out there, you guys barely get anything. Well, maybe Guy and Buzz fans have it worse, but whatever. Bob fans, arguably. But, I'm not gonna really spoil the story, to be honest. If you, again, if you want to get into Jack, start off with this game. Or, you could be like me, when this interest first started for me, I just watched like basically a cutscene compilation for this game, and it interested me. So that's how I got into Jack. Uh, there's like some other characters as well, some side characters. You got she doesn't have a name, so people just call her the elevator lady, who's basically your sign-in host. Then you have Helen, who appears sometimes. I like Helen. A lot of people like Helen. I'm pretty sure she appears in other, Jack games. I just don't know which one's her debut. I don't remember. Yeah, there's also unique question types in this one that I like as well. The music is really good. I feel like when it comes to Jack, you wouldn't think about the music that much, but the music in this game is so good. I feel like a lot of people fan favorite theme is the bingo theme, the theme for the bingo question type. Uh yeah, I have a lot of fun memories with this game. I played it once during a road trip just to basically kill time, and also because I was getting pretty close to beating the game. And I have completed, actually, I have beaten the game. You even get 4 different endings to choose from, but again, I won't spoil. uh, I guess to talk about some extra host stuff, Cookie has a lot of good episodes. There's really funny episodes of Cookie. I can't remember which ones exactly, but some episodes have like an on-running gag to them. Since they're scripted, they can actually write a story between episodes. And Cookie has some really funny ones, which is really nice since he's the host you start out with. So, yeah, you'll get a couple of good laughs. Guy, unfortunately, when I played this game for the first time, I did not care for Guy Towers as much as I do now, so I just kind of... I kind of like... Oh... I played all of his episodes, but I just didn't think much of them, which is unfortunate because Guy also has some pretty funny moments. There's like 2 particular floors I remember that are just... Oh, they're really funny. At least with like some jokes. Schmitty, despite being my favorite, I'm sorry, Schmitty, he has the worst floors. A lot of the topics in his floors are either just not interesting or just not that funny, which is crazy because again, he's my favorite host. But they really gave him the short end of the stick with some of the floors. What is Branson, Missouri, bro? That episode sucks. Nate being the last host you have, and also the last game Nate would ever host. I wouldn't really call any of Nate's floors misses. They're actually really good. The games floor is pretty memorable for a specific moment. Again, won't spoil. You can probably just find it in a cutscene compilation though. Perhaps I'll link one. I'll link one. Yeah, I'd say Nate doesn't really have any misses with his floors. I like Nate. Again, I think I said earlier, Nate has more personality to him and a lot more time to talk. So, yeah. Nate. I love Nate. One of my friend's favorite hosts is Nate. There should be more Nate fans. I'm surprised there isn't that many. But to be fair, I'm pretty sure the fandom right now for Jackbox, there's a huge community for Jack Reride, which is a fan game, but this isn't about that, so whatever. I guess I'll move on now. But yeah, as I said before, if you want to start out with any Jack game, start with the ride. Jack Offline. This is basically a port of the Net Show, which you might have seen earlier on like a promotional thing. Hello again, Headrush. So, Jack the Net Show was basically a free online version of Jack. Of course, you had to deal with like ads, but still. This game's really good. Cookie has a lot of good games, but Offline is definitely a really good one. Let me talk about Cookie then, as well as Raoul. Yeah, Cookie, I feel like in this game, Cookie's always been like a little bit violent, but in this game they really kicked it up. There's a whole question where Cookie puts like, I think Cookie puts like Raoul in some sort of shock device and shocks him every time you get the question wrong, which is crazy. And I'm pretty sure even if you get the question right, he does it anyway. Yeah, so over the years, Cookie just gets more and more violent, which is really funny. I'll talk about that in a bit, actually, because there's one game where it goes from like 0 to 100. Cookie, most popular host for a reason. He's funny. He's a little freaky for some reason. Why are you so freaky, Cookie? And he is full of violence. There's if you just peek into the fandom or something and like you look at fan art, if you see a lot of art of Cookie with a chainsaw, I'll explain that later, but there's a reason why people draw that. I guess despite Cookie being my second favorite host, I just don't have much to talk about. Alright, let's see. Am I forgetting any of the voice actor names? I know I'm about to mention one right now. Ladder, Faster, Funnier. This is one of my favorite, Jack games. Because it's hosted by Schmitty. It's also a port of the Net Show. I'm pretty sure, to clarify, the Net Show, Jack the Net Show is currently lost media. The only existing footage of it is anything people have recorded. So whatever people have not recorded over the years and uploaded to YouTube is lost. There's a lot. Someone could make a video on it. Someone could probably make a video on it someday. But yeah, there's a lot of Jackbox related lost media. And the Net Show is one of them. I have not watched any footage of the Net Show because due to it being hosted on the internet, the audio for the host is extremely crunchy. It's really crunchy. But I'm pretty sure... let me talk about the Net Show for a second. So the Net Show, I'm pretty sure the host would swap on occasion, but I'm pretty sure it was Nate, Cookie, and Schmitty who hosted the regular Net Show. Then they had the Sports Net Show. And I'm pretty sure, according to somewhere, I don't remember where, but I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere, that despite Jack Sports selling really badly, when the Sports Net Show came out, it was really popular. So, I guess people saw Guy through that and not the actual game he came from. But yeah, Ladder, Faster, Funnier is basically just a port of whatever Schmitty hosted on the Net Show. Let me talk about Schmitty a bit more. I forgot to mention the voice actor. Schmitty is voiced by Phil Rittarelli. Yeah. I'm pausing for a moment there. I don't remember why. Oh yeah, what else do I recall? Schmitty, Jack Offline. It does not have episodes exactly. It's basically just another Jack game, but it's like obviously again it's stuff from the Net Show that Cookie did, but for some reason, Jack Louder, Faster, Funnier does have episodes, except you can select from them. Whenever you start the game, the episode selection you get is randomized. You can just restart the game, honestly, if you don't like any of the options are given. But I don't know, it's very unique in that you are given episodes, but you also have the choice to pick between questions. So you can just play. You can just pick a topic basically, and then do a Jack game for that. And it actually gives you the option to favorite episodes, which is really nice. That's really nice. I like that a lot, especially if you're someone who likes recording your Jack gameplay, because in the fandom, people do like to record their gameplay to get quote unquote lore, because there's a lot of host lore, and so basically, hey, hold on, something about the fandom for a moment. So since there's so much content in Jack games, and a host can pretty much say anything between or during questions, unless you have actual recordings of it, anything about, oh, this host does this, or this host says that they experienced this, is pretty much just hearsay, unless you have actual footage of it. This fandom, when it comes to lore, is basically a game of telephone unless you actually have footage of it, of whatever you just described. So the favoriting option on Louder, Faster, Funnier is really useful if you're trying to redo episodes for specific lore. Uh, I'll use a birthday episode as an example. I'm pretty sure the birthday episode is where Shmi's birthday gets revealed, which is August 8th. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Louder, Faster, Funnier is one of the only Jack games that does something like that. So yeah, I'd say I talk about Shmi more. I guess oh yeah. Hold on, I forgot. I laughed about earlier how rageful Schmitty was in Jack TV for some reason. He's definitely way chiller in this one. I'm pretty sure with each Jack game Schmitty hosted, he got like progressively more calmer, I guess. What anger management does to somebody. Yeah, I like playing. Sorry, one of my clocks just did something. I like playing Louder, Faster, Funnier as like just a way to chill out, I guess, sometimes. I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but yeah. Uh, I guess I'll notice that with each game Schmitty hosts, just in general, he'll get a little chiller. He retains his funniness though. He, oh my god, I think I just he retains his funniness though. He's very funny. I mean, obviously, he's my favorite. Of course, I find him funny. I guess that's it. Let me just move on to the next thing. Oh, look, it's another Shimmy game. Hold on. Jack the Fifth Dementia, from the box that I showed earlier. Yeah, I think I've run out of words to say about Schmitty. I'll pull up fan art or something that I've made. I don't know, just as evidence. Okay. I like the disc art. The disc art, very pretty. I like it. And this... You can't get arrested for playing Fifth Dementia with minors. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, let me talk about the Fifth Dementia then, I guess. It's another episodic Jack game, except you don't have a choice in what episode is given. It's completely random. Whatever episode you get is completely randomized. I haven't watched gameplay footage in a while. I'm pretty sure it tells you beforehand what episode is. But, another episodic Jack game that, It's 15 questions. I'm pretty sure 15 questions. Also has a unique question type that only appears in this game, that being bug out. The bug out theme is really good. Again, about the music. The bug out theme is so good. Oh, let me talk about the player avatars. Okay, so for some reason, I already know that Head Headrush has a thing where it gives you different player avatars. In fact, you get to choose the one you use. Uh, but in this game, you also get to choose what player avatar you use, but it's also kind of random. So usually in each Jet game, you have a number, like player 1 and player 2. Why? Whose idea was it in this game to make your player avatar just some random person? Usually, I'm pretty sure it's usually just like a straight up Jellyvision staff member or something. I think one's just a sock puppet. This game's really weird. I feel like it's the best way to describe Fifth Dimension. It's really weird. Yeah, I think that's it for Fifth Dimension. Alright, moving on. Okay, I actually did stop recording for a moment to just take a short break, because I've really been recording for like an hour straight. Moving on. Jack 2011. I have the PS3 version of this, despite not owning a PlayStation 3, and the DS version. Basically, okay, people just call it Jack 2011, despite it's literally just called Jack. For context, they basically had a soft reboot in 2011 of the series because they went on hiatus after releasing The Lost Gold back in 2003. So this was basically the comeback, which is very nice because this is actually one of my favorite Jack games because it's one of the funniest ones. Well, it's one of the funniest ones while also having some of the most out-of-pocket jokes, which are oh god, why'd they write some of those jokes? But whatever. Hold on, I'm struggling to open the DS case here. Oh, I forgot to... Give me a moment to find it. Hold on. Here's the insides. I had to look for the game cart for a second because it was in my general DS case. The disc. Both manuals, again, the cartridge. Quick thing about the DS version. Let me talk about that for a second. If you are going to play Jack 2011, don't do the DS version. As you could probably guess, due to hardware limitations, is just there's just a lot is wrong with it. It's still technically Jack. Why am I still saying technically Jack? It is, but they just cut a bunch of content, which is really annoying. For example, the wrong answer of the game is not there in the DS version. It's just straight up missing. I'm pretty sure there's also only 30 episodes, and there's way more in the actual game. And again, due to hardware limitations, Cookie's voice is bit crushed to hell and back. It sounds terrible. If you would have bought Jack for the DS and not any of the other versions, you would have thought it was a shovelware game. That's how bad it is. But if you are going to play 2011, play either the PC version or the PS3 version. Most likely the PS3 version, to be honest, because for some reason the PC version, actually no, I get why, the PC version, only lasts for 2 players, and maybe it's just me and my friends, but sometimes the game will give an error message when you try to boot up, especially when it comes to save data. So, if you're gonna play 2011, play the PS3 version, I don't know, download an emulator or something, and, hold on, let me not get this video taken down. Buy a PS3 legitimately, or if you already have one, just buy the game, because I don't think it's that expensive. Yeah, it's a really good game. One of the, actually, in my opinion, one of the best Cookie ones. Cookie has a lot of personality and character in 2011. He's really funny. Again, my only issue with 2011 is that some of the jokes are a little, they're a little too off. Maybe I'll write in editing or something, some specific examples. Oh yeah, I mentioned earlier Cookie's violence and how this game takes it from 0 to 100. Well, it's already pretty bad. Yeah, Cookie, there's a running joke throughout this entire game that Cookie is just really violent towards the interns working in the studio. Like, there's all sorts of different moments throughout the entire game where he's like that, and I'm just wondering at this point who came up with that. Who in the writers' room came up with that? And giving them a raise because the fandom loves it. I mentioned earlier that if you were to look at fan art of Cookie, if you notice a lot of art of him with a chainsaw, there is a reason why. There's an episode in this game. Okay, it's another episodic Jack game. You get to select the episode. There's an episode in this game where there's a question where Cookie decapitates someone with a chainsaw, and that just never left the fandom since. Now everyone just loves drawing him with a chainsaw. I don't know. The fandom likes a man who's violent. I don't know. Yeah, Cookie just likes murdering people for some reason. I'm pretty sure, I was gonna mention something outside the actual game, never mind. There's a couple of other questions or examples. Jack 2015, which is in Party Pack 1, so I don't have, unless if I had a copy of Party Pack 1, because I'm pretty sure they do actually exist, I don't have a physical copy of 2050. I do have the pack download though. But yeah, this exact style of humor does continue in 2015. At this point, they're pretty much just the same game. 2015 is basically just a direct sequel to 2011, and they're both really good. I like them a lot. Okay, I think that's it for the mainline Jack games. So now I could talk about some other random stuff, as well as stuff I did not mention earlier. I accidentally stopped recording. Jack PlayStation. These are PlayStation ports of Jack. I'm pretty sure. Let me start off with this one. I'm pretty sure this is basically just a port of Volume 3. As you can see by the visuals, if you've seen the gameplay of Volume 3 before. Yeah, this is the first Jack port. I've never played it. Oh yeah, I should show the inside. The inside, again, with CD art I like. Also, there's 2 discs. Okay, I said earlier that I don't really know how, like, some using 2 CDs things works. This is beyond me. I never grew up with the original PlayStation, so I do not know how 2 CDs with the, oh my god. So I don't know how 2 CDs with the OG PlayStation works. I think the CD is fine, don't worry, guys. Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, not really much to say about the first PlayStation port of Jack, because again, it's really just Volume 3, but on PlayStation. Now, Mach 2. You could just call it Schmitty everything, because, it takes pretty much, it's also episodic, except it doesn't tell you which episode it's on. It's like the Fifth Dementia, where it randomly picks an episode for you, except it doesn't say what episode it is, so you basically have to guess. But yeah, it's just a bunch of Schmitty. They have questions from Ladderfest or Funnier. They have questions from, The Ride. I don't know about the Fifth Dementia, but, yeah. I've played this at least once. Yeah, it's Jack on PlayStation, again. I do like the visuals, though. They're pretty neat. What else is there? Oh, yeah, again with the disc art that I like. Pretty. So shiny, my face was almost in there. Oh, I forgot, maybe I should take it off. There's a tag on there from the video game store I got it from. Whatever, it's fine. Free advertising for them, I guess. They're nice. Okay, my only issue with Mach 2 is that the Jack Attack, for some reason, it's specifically a UI-related issue, I guess. There's, like, background effects, as well as the text for the Jack Attack it says what you're supposed to... It says the question, basically. But the question, for some reason, is the same color as the background, so you legitimately cannot tell what the game is trying to ask you for, like, 2 or 3 whole seconds, which is a lot of time when you're trying to answer for a Jack Attack. I don't know why it's like that. That's literally the only flaw with this game. But yeah, moving on. That's basically it for the PlayStation ports. And I think that might be it for this first shelf. You might have seen earlier when I first started recording that I have another copy of Jack PlayStation, but I didn't show it because the case is damaged. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't want to show it because the case is damaged, and if I touch it too much, the case literally just falls apart, and I don't want to deal with that, so yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it with the games. Alright, then let's move on to some random stuff. Jack tabletop. Okay, so Tiger Electronics, back in the 90s, I believe, released this. I like pressing the buttons a lot. Jack tabletop. Yeah, it's Jack, but you can play it through this. Let me see. The numbers are displayed here to show like scores, obviously, as you can see by the numbers. On and off button. I am not turning this on. It is extremely loud, and there's no volume adjustment. Seriously, if I turn this on, it'd be like a... It's loud. I don't know why it's so loud. Pause button. I've never tried the pause button, but, yeah. Use cards to, I guess, give the questions. You can flip them around. I'm pretty sure this is just basically the base set of cards. I know they released, like, extensions for this. They're, like, questions from Jack movies, sports, and TV, but I have not, I have not. I don't have them, and I don't think anybody's ever listed them. You answer the questions here with, pressing these. Again, I never played this, especially because it's so loud, so I don't know exactly how it works, but it must be pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot. You need to, before you reveal the question, you need to close the door, and jump scare warning. Yeah, it's really loud. Okay. Apparently, not just the audio, but the thing itself too is loud. Sorry, I'm looking at it from other sides. There's nothing to show from the other sides. Let me go on it a bit more. The host of this is actually Nate. So the host of this is Nate Shapiro. So I'm sure he doesn't talk much, considering you probably have to say what's on the card. But yeah, he basically just like says stuff like, he'll call out whenever someone screws someone. This is a screw button, so you can use the screw mechanic. He'll probably call out whenever a player presses their buzzer. I'm pretty sure. Okay, when it comes to Jack related items that you can get, like, that you get on eBay, this is one of the more expensive ones. I mean, this was like I'm pretty sure this was like $30, but yeah. If you're really into collecting Jack or just general Jackbox stuff, I would recommend getting this. It looks nice, even if it's a little big, so it kind of sticks out a little on my shelf. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, one time when I was moving this, it turned on by itself, so I'm very happy it did not do that there. Because again, it's loud. Moving on. Jack the book. As it says, it's literally just a book version of Jack. It has multiple games, I guess. Oh, what is this? Oh yeah, the little warning label. Oh yeah, again, it's literally just Jack, but that's a book. I've never read it. More of a display piece kind of thing. I'm pretty sure there's no specific host to it either. I know they also released a Jack TV version of the book, so that makes me wonder if the host for it is Schmitty or not. There's still technically a host in this book, but it's not explicitly stated to be anyone, so you can just kind of assume that it's a separate character. Oh, the graphic design here is pretty neat. Let me show the Jack Attack page, actually. Oh, there's shine here. Yeah, this looks pretty new. I don't know how it looks so new. Maybe it's I don't know. I guess it says a Christmas gift, so I wouldn't know. again, more of a display piece thing. And I think that's it for Jack stuff. Now we can move on to Jackbox. Let me take this then. The Faking It board game. I don't know how much Jackbox still promotes this, because when this first came out, they kept promoting it for like months on end. I got it as a Christmas gift. I didn't notice how heavy it is. Oh my god. I've never played it. It's completely sealed. I've never even opened it. It's a display piece. That's pretty much it. I guess you could get this, but like, honestly, I don't see the point in why they made it. I'm gonna be real, especially considering you can just buy pack 3. But sure, if you have like family that prefers playing board games or something, then you can do Faking It board game. They also released Faking It All Night Long as a board game, but I don't have it. uh, now I remember. I didn't get Faking It All Night Long because I just thought it'd be a little awkward to have something with that as the box cover just in my room. But yeah, Faking It board game. I'm sure the contents inside are interesting, but again, I've never opened it. It's still sealed. Let's move on. This Jackbox beanie. It's from their merch tab on their website. Hold on, let me grab something else. The Jackbox beanie and the Fibbage 3 pillow. As I said before, this is a merchandise thing. I've never worn it because despite getting it as a Christmas gift, I unfortunately learned really fast that my sensory issues hate whatever texture this is on my head. So I literally cannot stand wearing it for more than 1 minute. Which is unfortunate because I feel like, I don't know, I'd like to wear it a bit. I like the embroidery. I don't know. And the Fibbage 3 pillow. This is, obviously I put this on my bed. Yeah, it's literally just a pillow, but it has like a Fibbage 3 design on it. And the back is a QR code that takes you directly to the Jackbox.tv website to play the games. Hold on, is there? I might have shown up for a second. I think there was accidentally fuzz on it. Yeah, there you go. If you want to scan it, yeah, it takes you to the website. Alright, let me put all these back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I have 2 shirts as well. They're the Jack and Quip Crunch 3 shirts, but they are currently in my dirty laundry because I've already worn them, so I'll just show a picture of them. Okay, so I think I have some unofficial stuff, and by unofficial, I mean stuff I've created myself. So I'll show that for a moment before I get to basically just showing my Steam. I think this is everything unofficial I've created. Yeah, these are buttons that I've made. I don't have a printer, so I just draw something, and I put it in my button maker, and then boom, it's a button. This design is outdated. I don't use this design of Nate anymore. I'll show it in editing, what my Nate looks like right now. 2 Schmitty buttons, one for the human form, one for the Quip form. A general Jack button, Guy Towers, Buzz, Cookie, and a little Quip plushie that I made in like 1 hour. I did think about making a plushie of my Schmitty and Turk once, but I never did. I'm not sure if I ever will. But I do have the orange felt for it, so I don't know if I feel like it one day, then maybe. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so again, this is outdated. Don't that's outdated. Yeah, these are my Jack host interps, I guess then. I'll actually just show it editing what the refs look like right now. But yeah, I turn them into buttons. I used to have all of them on my bag, but since then I've pretty much just swapped out some buttons. I still use the human form Schmitty one, but the other ones I just kind of have sitting around. I'm not sure where I'll put them. Well, I put this button back on my bag. Yeah, I don't think I have any other um unofficial merch stuff. Maybe I do have I have a lot of fan art, but I'm not sure if I made anything extra that count as like physical merch that I've just made by myself. Alright, I guess I'll show my Unijet collection on, or just general Jackbox collection, I say in quotes, on Steam then, because I do have a lot. Yeah, this is a Jack on Steam. You could buy each game individually, um, on Steam, but the best way to do it is getting the Jack Classic Pack on Jackbox's website, because you'll just get all this. Uh, as you probably noticed, there are some games missing here, but it does give you basically the essentials. It also has the one Jack game I do not own physically because it's just really rare, mainly because nobody. I'm assuming either nobody bought it or it's just not good. Jack the Lost Gold. It's a really bad game. I mean, if you like shitty to the point you're willing to deal with your if you like shitty to the point you're willing to deal with this game, then sure play it. But it's not good. I, I I don't know what I don't know what went wrong with this game, but yeah. No words. That's pretty much it. Jet collection. Let me show the Jackbox games thing now. Yeah, I have a lot. I feel like I might be missing something here. Am I missing something? I don't know. Uh, I'm I'm pretty sure this is everything Jackbox has released. Just Jackbox games. Uh, Drawful 2. Yeah, I mostly have these as like, I don't know, I just like having them. I mean, I could definitely play them. I have played them before. But yeah, Drawful 2, never played, ever. The Mega Picker, I don't like using it. I don't like using it. I tried it once to test out how it would work when it first came out. It's really inefficient. I don't like it. You'd be better off just going to random packs in your library and playing whatever, because this, for some reason, the Mega Picker just makes it really laggy. But whatever, moving on. I have the Naughty Pack. The Naughty Pack is terrible. Don't. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Let Me Finish, as I'm seeing right now, Let Me Finish is the worst game Jetbox has produced. I'm sorry. Yeah, the only good game in this pack is Faking It All Night Long. That's it. Anyway, Pack 1, which has Jack 2015. Did I say I was going to talk about it? I don't know. It's like the same thing as 2011 at this point. Pack 2, Pack 3, Pack 4, Pack 5, which has Jack Full Stream, which is like the latest Jack release. I hope they make another someday. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the recent Party Pack 11. I played Party Pack 11. I am so happy it's good, because 2024 was not a good year for Jackbox. I did not. The only release of them I like. The only release of theirs I liked from 2024 was Survey Scramble, and I don't even play it anymore. the time play is that like that because I play it through my friends streaming it, not myself. Yeah, Pack 11 is really good. Arguably on a, I wouldn't say it's as good as 3 and 7, but it's really good. So I hope Trivia Murder Party 3 is good, despite I don't really care for Trivia Murder Party 3. And I have Quiplash and Quiplash 2 International. These are both gifts from someone, whatever. I like Schmitty, so of course I have those. Alright, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I guess on an extra note, Quiplash 3 is my favorite game from the Jackbox Party Packs. When it comes to anything Jackbox has ever produced, of course, classic Jack games I like a lot, but Quiplash 3 is my favorite out of the things that Jackbox has generally released. My second favorite party pack game is Champed Up, because Champed Up is really good and funny. I guess that's it. yeah, I guess that's it. I could probably show some fan art at the end here. Actually, maybe I can even show some extra stuff. Hold on. I have I made a Yono Jack theme for my 3DS once. Don't. Yeah, this is old art. I don't. Again, old Nate and Terp I don't use anymore. Old art. I do actually have some Jackbox slash Yono Jack themes on Theme Plaza for your modded 3DS, but, fair warning, I've tested it. The music does not work, so I apologize. Yeah, the music doesn't work. I don't know why. So my apologies for that. But yeah, I guess that's it. There's some other gaming stuff I probably have, but I'm not gonna bother with showing it. Whatever. Uh, I guess that's it for this video. See ya.